Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and my goal is to put more money in your pocket and to help you to become a better investor, and to hopefully convince you that investing is the key to wealth. That working for other people doesn't usually get you where you want to get to. And I'm going to explain this very clearly today, so you can understand this. Also, if you stick around to the end of the video, I will share an investment that I'm going to make, and I will explain to you exactly why I believe this investment is going to make you and your family a ton of money. I just met with some students from the Black Business School a little while ago, and one of them came in, and first thing she said was, "I want to get my portfolio to over $1 million," and I thought that was great. I love it when Black people are making money. So if you agree with that, then stick around because that's something that we're focused on here. All right. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me okay. My audio was a little bit scrapey yesterday. I apologize for that. Give me a quick yes. Let me know that my audio is coming through all right. How many of you heard that Meta just did something pretty amazing? I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Meta literally offered a 24-year-old a $250 million deal for artificial intelligence. I don't know if anybody saw that. It was kind of crazy, and I'm going to give you the details of what happened here because I really think that Black folks should pay attention. I think you have to pay attention when it comes to AI. You can't live with your head in the sand, and you should also realize that AI is big, big money. These hyperscalers, these big companies are spending insane amounts of money to acquire the best talent. Alexander Wong, who's a 28-year-old PhD student, he ended up making billions of dollars when he sold himself and his company to Meta, and so this really speaks to something I want you to understand about wealth and investing. You can't really build that much wealth if all you do is you think of yourself as an employee. If you want your wealth to grow, then you have to grow with it. You have to grow mentally, and growing mentally means scaling up to the point where you don't think of yourself as just somebody's employee. You have to think of yourself as something bigger than that. So Wong, this 28-year-old kid at MIT, he dropped out of MIT. He literally sold himself and his company and ended up getting billions of dollars in the deal. So this, really takes us back to something that I've talked to you guys about extensively in terms of understanding where the money's located and how money works in this economy. There's so many people who think that you can just go and that all of us can just march up and go work for white people and be these little employees and somehow close the racial wealth gap. Well, you can't really do that. You have to think like business owners. You have to think like investors. You have to really educate yourself on the highest levels. And if you don't do that, then you're going to miss out on things. Okay. Now, just really quickly, you guys, okay, so you guys can hear me okay. You can hear me and see me and all that. That's good. All right. So, like I said, at the end, I'll give you a stock that I'm going to invest in. It may be an opportunity for you, particularly given that the market is on sale right now. And I'm going to break that down for you. So basically, this kid, this 24-year-old, okay, Mike Larry says my sound is bad. Oh, I hate that. Let me check here. All right, let's see here. Sheesh, it tells me my microphone's connected. I just did a Zoom meeting. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I hate having to stop like that, but I want to make sure I'm coming through all right. I'm gonna keep looking. All right, thank you, Justin Pender. Okay. Justin says I sound good. Okay, so I'm gonna keep talking and then I'll keep looking in case my audio goes bad because I hate when that happens and it makes me feel bad. All right, so the person who got this crazy deal was a guy named Matt Deet. Matt Deet, Deitk. Deet, he's a 24-year-old AI whiz kid. And literally, let's see here. It says he's formerly of the Allen Institute for AI. He's a co-founder of startup Vercept, recognized for work on multimodal chatbot mode, a chatbot called Momo. And he initially turned down, check this out, he turned down a deal for 125 million. Then he accepted Zuckerberg's second offer, which was $250 million. And he's expected to get as much as $100 million this year. So this kid, by being smart, is going to make more money than all of his friends going to the NBA and the NFL. I don't think that there's a single. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's a single NBA or NFL player who through his NBA or NFL salary is going to make $100 million this year. Maybe there's an exception. There's maybe a superstar somewhere that's gotten a deal at that magnitude, but that's a lot of money. And so basically, he's going to be. It's one of the richest AI packages ever offered. The let's see this. So this is really part of what Meta is doing right now. Meta is investing heavily in artificial intelligence. I told you guys I'm a big investor in Meta, so I follow the stock closely. I'm making good money with the stock so far. It's been doing. I mean, in fact, it's been doing better than I thought it was going to do. I bought some options on it. I invested in shares, but I sold some calls to calibrate my risk. But Lord Jesus, I wish I hadn't sold anything because Meta has just been absolutely just insane in terms of a moneymaker. And they've also secured 49% non-voting stake in a company called Scale AI, and they paid $14 billion of for this company from a guy named Alexander Wong. They didn't pay for the whole company; they got half the company for 14.9 billion. Wong is a 28-year-old MIT dropout turned billionaire who founded Scale AI. Now, here's why I want to pause. I need you to give me a yes in the chat if you're going to listen to me closely. Can you listen to me really closely? Because I really want to say something that is very important for me to share with you, something that I believe is going to make a difference for all of you, something that I wish every Black person in America would listen to. But unfortunately, I don't have enough reach to get everybody. I can only reach the people that are listening. So, kid, give me a quick yes if you're listening. I'm literally slowing myself down because I really want you to hear this. Okay, we're going to walk through something that is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity for the Black community. How many of you, either in your family or know somebody Black who has a child that is good at either engineering, mathematics, computer science, or some field that's in the sciences? How many of you got a kid that, or have a cousin that has a kid, or you were the kid who did really good in school, and they were told, "Hey, if you go get a degree in engineering, you can get a great job and make a whole lot of money. You can make as much as 80,000 a year, maybe 90, maybe 100 if you work hard." How many of you have heard this, or know somebody in that category? This is very common in the Black community. Very common. When I was a kid, my mother, got, rest her soul, she used to make me go to these meetings with this wonderful organization in Louisville, Kentucky called Black Achievers. And in Black Achievers, I'll never forget how many really smart, well-behaved, very disciplined, intelligent kids. I'm not talking about ghetto ratchet. I'm not talking about twerking and thugging. I'm talking about kids that really wanted to be successful, that were super focused, who were all going to go to college. And every other person, I remember specifically hearing everybody wanted to be an engineer. Why? Well, because engineer fits with doctor and lawyer in terms of the professions you pick if you're kind of the smart one in the family. I know this. I'm a college professor. I've seen it a billion times. I really believe that this is data. This data is telling you that it's time to make the epic pivot. It's time to pivot. If you have that child in your family that is good with math and computer science and everything else, don't just limit them to letting them know that if you work hard and get a degree and put it on your resume, you can go get a good job as an engineer making 100,000 a year. This 24-year-old kid just signed a $250 million contract. Do you understand how much money that is? Do you understand that you could, if you took um, one employee making 100,000 a year, and um, let's say you had, I don't know, let's say you had 1,000 employees, 1,000 Black people making 100,000 a year. That's still not even half. That's 40% of the amount of money that this kid is going to make over a 4-year period. It would literally take 1,000 of our hardworking kids, the very best and brightest, to make 40% of what this guy's going to make in 4 years. So here's what I'm saying. What I would tell them if they want to be engineers is you got to pivot to AI and you got to think like an entrepreneur. Alexander Wong is in his 20s and he sold half of his company, 49% of non-voting shares. That means he negotiated. He said, "Look, you can't get the whole company for 14 billion. I know people that would sell their whole family for 14,000. He didn't sell the whole company for 14.9 billion. He sold 49%. He didn't sell 51%. He sold 49%. And he also said you can't even vote. You don't think Meta wanted to have voting rights? You don't think Meta wanted to own the majority of the company? You don't think Meta knew they did most of the time that for 14.9 billion they could buy your whole life for that much? But no, he negotiated that because he could. This other kid got offered 125 million and turned it down. He turned it down. Almost like that Shannon Sharp girl. That girl that got with Shannon Sharp, how she turned down 10 million because she knew she could get a better deal. She played hardball with Shannon. Shannon had to write a big fat check. Now that girl got more money than most HBCUs because Shannon out here can't control his penis. But that's another thing. I'm not going to get triggered by that. But my point is to say, in my view, if you have the kid who has that scientific talent, the AI revolution is an opportunity for them to truly scale and really make money at an absolutely epic level. A quarter of a bill. Imagine how much your family's generational legacy would shift if you had that genius child who's good with math, good with computers, prepared to go be an engineer, and they just pivoted and put all their time into developing AI models and learning how to build businesses that can take that knowledge and scale it. That where they're literally knee deep in the AI revolution. And I've seen them. There are some of us that are already doing this, but I'm telling you, this is the money grab. They are writing checks that are absolutely sick. They are writing ridiculously high checks. And we're trained to go and get the checks when Netflix is writing the checks because we're trying to sell a movie or trying to get them to buy a script. But in this particular space, now the big money, the big checks are being written by the hyperscalers. They will drop 2 billion on your company and think nothing of it. And that company could have been created by a 25-year-old who dropped out of school. And these people that create companies like this are not any smarter than your little black girl who's sitting in her room doing her chemistry homework every day. They're not any smarter than your son who's sitting around and working on his computer in the computer lab all day. They're not smarter than our kids. So our kids need to be trained on artificial intelligence at the highest levels, but also be trained as entrepreneurs so that it can truly scale into something that allows them to receive the big payouts. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Did y'all get what I'm saying? Somebody says there's no. Dawn says there's no sound. I don't know where that comes from. I think there's sound. I hear myself. Let me know if you can hear me. I see, Don. Now you done got me all paranoid on a Friday night, and I don't need that. It's a good thing I don't use drugs or nothing, because I'd probably be a weirdo. So let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes if my sound came through okay, and let me know if you got the point that I was making. If you'll consider what I'm saying, and you'll implement this as part of your family educational process. All right. So one thing really quick, the tickets for the All Black National Convention are not going to be on sale as of tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you want to go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's where we have the largest gathering on earth of intelligent black people. It's going to be in Atlanta, August 21st to the 24th. We just added another day that where you can come in, and we're going to be covering every single thing: crypto, real estate, stock market investing, stock options investing, whatever it is you want to do, family relationships, mental health, politics. All these things get covered by our experts, and you can participate and be a part of the discussion, part of the planning, part of the initiatives. There's so much happening there; it's unbelievable. And we're also partnering with the National Business League, so feel free to join us. The URL is allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And also, if you want to generate extra income, a great way to become what I call a liquid landlord, meaning you can actually make the same rental income that you would from selling property, except you don't actually have to go buy any property. It's through stock options. That's how I have thousands of students that are doing this. Many of them are making lots of money. They're very, very happy. Feel free to go to drboyceprime.com and you can take a look. That's drboyceprime.com. Okay, so let me break down a little bit more for you in terms of what's happening with the markets right now. Right now, the markets took a little bit of a dip, but I mentioned to you that that's expected to happen. It can't go up forever, and it's down slightly just because well, there was some bad labor data that came through, and but honestly, it looks like Trump fired the commissioner of labor statistics because the jobs numbers were not as good as he wanted. Which that just that's Trumping. That's Trump being Trump, I guess. And it dropped by 500 points, but that's a good thing because that gives you an opportunity to jump in and take advantage of the discounts that are available in the market. And so one of the assets I plan to buy is something. The ticker symbol's ARCG, ARCG, ARK or ARKG. ARCG is that's one of those Kathy Woods ETFs. And what they're invested in is a lot of the genomic innovation. So a lot of the stuff like gene editing, DNA sequencing, targeted therapeutics, bioinformatics, molecular diagnostics, stem cell research, etc. It holds companies like Exact Sciences Corp, Pacific Biosciences, CRISPR Therapeutics, and basically cutting edge biotech is going to be one of the biggest use cases of AI. And the ticker symbol's ARCG. Somebody please type ARCG in the chat so everybody can see it. ARCG. And I'm going to buy it because I know AI is the future. I also want to buy it because I know that the population's getting older. As the population gets older, you're going to see more and more people seeking out these therapies so that they can then have the ability to live forever and live longer and everything else. And I just think that's going to be a massive growth area. So you may want to take a look at ARCG. This is not investing advice. This is just me sharing something that I plan to invest in for my family. Okay, so anyway, there's not much else to talk about. I want you guys to know on my Instagram. My Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. There's plenty of stuff up there that I put up stuff pretty much all day long in terms of just things that I see, things I think about. We've done analysis on the thing with Shannon Sharp. I think that's pretty unfortunate. And in fact, actually, I shared something from grad school. Let me show y'all this. This is kind of wacky right here. This is an image of me when I finished my doctorate at Ohio State. I went to the Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes! We have the greatest football team in the history of the world. And I wrote a story about something that you may want to share with your children because most of us are black up in here, and I think black people have a certain set of rules that we have to remember when it comes to economics, and black men really have to be really careful. Shannon Sharp will tell you that. And so here's the story. I'm gonna read it to you, and I want you to share this with your son. It says here, when I got my first job making over $100,000 a year at the age of 31, the first thing my father told me was to never sleep with anybody on my job. So during my, and actually to be specific, he said, don't you F nothing on that campus. So during my years on the faculty of Syracuse University, I would see opportunities and situations emerge, and I knew to stay away from them. And that was just me listening to daddy's advice. You know, he's a police detective, so he'd seen a lot. So I respect my father and I listened to him. Another brother, who I don't think had a father, joined the faculty with me at the same time, and he ended up sleeping with a student. So this was a young brother who he had more game than I did. He was a very handsome guy. And I remember we were on a panel together, and I remember him kind of flirting with the grad students, you know, because we were young, we were like early 30s, and these girls were as old as 24. So there's natural attraction that's going to happen. But me, I was like, no, I'm not letting you. I don't care how cute you are. You're not going to ruin all these years of hard work I put in to get in here because I don't have anybody that's ever going to save me. And so he ended up sleeping with a student. And so what happened after that? This is an important story. I'm not going to say his name because he's still out there. But 8 months after they slept together, the student filed sexual misconduct charges against him, and it nearly ruined his career. So what they did, which was just, I thought it was just an abomination, is they put his mugshot on TV. Literally, like people can't unsee your mugshot. So you're supposed to be a professor, and they got your mugshot on TV like you really were a criminal. And the crazy thing was they dropped the charges. They dropped the charges. He didn't actually get charged with anything. Everything they were charging him with, well, he did get charged, but I think the grand jury was like, there's nothing here. And it was filed 6 or 7 months after they stopped sleeping together. And the girl was like 24. He was like 34. There's nothing criminal about that. Now, sleeping with a student, that's an issue, obviously. I never would have considered that. But still, these were two grown folks doing what grown folks do, but apparently whatever happened made her upset, so she decides to just ruin him. And so literally this story, I'm sharing this because I'm hoping maybe it'll help somebody in terms of knowing what happens in the real world and things you got to watch out for. And I do believe it happened to him because he was a black man. And I personally think that black men have to be careful when it comes to our economics. So on my Instagram, I like to bring up stuff like that because you got to remember that growing your wealth and protecting your wealth is far more complicated than just getting a good job or making lots of money or putting money in your 401k. It goes down to literally thinking about every single threat that exists that can take away your wealth. And believe me, when you are black, You have threats that you don't even know about. You have threats that you haven't even thought about. You have threats that nobody else has to think about. White women don't have to worry about the same problems that a black man has to deal with. So anyway, I hope that that was helpful. And so let me know if you were able to hear me. It looks like the chat's not moving, so now I'm a little bit worried because I'm not either y'all being real quiet or there's an audio issue. So I'm just gonna keep talking as if you guys can hear me. Hopefully you can. So I'm gonna get out of here. I have a podcast on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, you can find I got two podcasts. One's called Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market. The other one's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. And so that's where I break down what's going on in the markets every other day, things like that. And also, don't forget, you can join us for my morning class. We have a class every morning. It's called Money in the Morning, the Art of Economic Elevation and Financial Psychology. So if you'd like to join us, just text the word morning on your phone to the number 87948. So text morning to 87948, and I will hit you up tomorrow morning actually to let you guys know that we're gonna have class. All right, so God bless you. Have a good night. I just wanted to pop in really quickly and say what's up, and I'm about to go to bed because I'm actually kind of tired. I've had a long day. So I'll see you soon. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you at the convention as well. That